yourself in the releasing and the controlling of these impulses and these fluids. If you do not have sex or masturbate until these urges still force themselves out in dreams or excitement. So even if you don't have sex, it's going to come out anyway. Some people still talk about wasting the seed. It's still going to come out because it builds over time, and then it'll flow out even in excitement. And that's why some women will become moist, and men also become moist in the same basic procedure, especially if they're not having or releasing these fluids as needed, which is also a form of releasing tension and the negatives, which again is beneficial to a state of relaxing and being calm. But there's something that's called too much sex, which is actually bad for you, right? And also too little sex. One needs to create balance, but if you need to know what balance is, and there is an abuse of releasing these sexual urges, but you don't want to abuse it. Now, not everyone has the same amount of sexual urges because of the individual construct, which is what you may believe, and other factors such as age and health. No one can clearly say that having sex with multiple partners does not guarantee that you will have a sexually transmitted disease, nor that having a monogamous relationship means that you won't get a sexually transmitted disease. Because of possibilities, though, that you may be monogamous, your partner may not be monogamous, or because of some past drug abuse that you had caught some type of venereal disease for no fault of your own or for whatever reason. But regardless of these diseases, you can choose to not let fear dictate how you will live your life or stop you from having a loving and caring relationship with others or with some particular person. And although this is true, monogamy is still greatly recommended. There are some religious leaders who would say that you could not only have sex to procreate, but this rule to be is flawed because there are religious texts that a couple, meaning a man and a wife, were having sex for a long time, even though they were sterile, and it was indeed for them, I guess this would be equivalent to masturbation because they're having sex from that and they're not having any children. So the married couple in question continues to have sex. Now, whether the objective to have sex is just to have children or not is not the point, because you never know if a woman will ever get pregnant or if a man has had the potency to deliver children or to give children, implant the seed. The point is because you never know if a woman will ever get pregnant for whatever reason, such as the man or the woman is sterile, bad timing, and other factors. If it is healthy and involving two loving people, positive, consenting adults who are committed to caring and nurturing one another. There are some religions that say that having unwed sex or masturbating is wrong. Now, there are many reasons people do have sex or don't have sex. Some people have sex to procreate, and others who have sex to enjoy the euphoria or the climax. It is important note that sex with many people for leisure has more of a negative effect than just masturbating. That is absolutely fact. Some people just tell you, like, just stay abstinent for a long time, which is actually destructive to your body and it's not healthy. It is like if you have a parent and if you don't teach your children or if they don't have an education that it's just like lying to tell your child, well, if you masturbate, something bad will befall them. Such as, you're going blind if you masturbate. It's just the logical dumb beliefs that are some negative superstition that somebody tells people that is only to the detriment of the child's health and well-being. So they say, even if you feel sexually aroused, don't do it. Such erroneous teachings may come back to haunt them and have adverse effects on the individual, in the individual and the person who, when they eventually find out that they were lied to, gives less credibility to the individuals who was teaching those lies and that deception. So they will like to inform mothers and daughters, to educate your daughters and your sons. It has to be done in a certain way, which is non-intrusive and not in such a way that it's obscene. Or even if your daughters menstruate, it's important to teach them before they actually menstruate that how their body works. And sometimes the school system has yet to work in such a manner that they would help the child. Not educating your daughters about this is important in their lives and could cause confusions, problems, and embarrassment. There is no reason for this to be in this day and age. Therefore, mothers and fathers, please teach your children truthfully that will have insight and become in a helpful manner. And some little girls don't know about menstruating until after they have it, and they go to school with a light-colored clothing. Next thing you know, their white pants are red, and they're wondering what's going on with me. Am I dying? Or, although people should know a lot more now, but every now and then you get children that are lost in a quandary because nobody taught them anything. And then there are mothers that are so proud of their child having menstruating, they tell everybody, which is embarrassing to a little girl. They're going around, hey, my little girl just was menstruating, and she tells it in front of everybody, people they don't know, and the little girl's like, Mom, what are you doing? That's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. It's nobody's business. Keep it a secret, Throw a quinceañera or some kind of party or something. But don't be doing that. That's disrespectful. That's a private matter, and I'm sure it's quite something that you're not willing to share with everybody. Some things better not said. Therefore, mothers and fathers, again, please teach your children, male and female, what they have in an insightful and helpful manner. You're much better off teaching your children the truth, and use like medical books. That's flawless. When you whip out one of those medical books, it's not showing anything nasty. It shows all the insides and how it works. As a matter of fact, it may have a deterrent for a while because you're looking at that and say, oh, that's yucky. But again, between males and females, like little girls will be curious. How come his pee-pee is different than mine? And then they want to know more. And some people can use that to hurt children. But if you show them the books, the textbooks, you can say, listen, men and women, we all have peepees, we all have different colors, we all have different sizes, but this is not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is the mind. The mind could actually, you're looking for a person who's kind or conditioning how their emotions work, how to better relate to others, and you must be taught love before sex, because if you're teaching sex before love, some people will exclude love to their detriment. So, much better off teaching your children the truth. Again, using these medical books for boys and girls. Where do babies come from? Whip out a medical book and show the mommy's tummy, and you see the baby in there. She goes, oh, is that the way? That works much better than saying, oh, well, man's penis is going to go in here, and this is what's going to go in your vagina. And also don't say things like, oh, just kissing a boy is going to make you pregnant. Because then you got this poor girl running around, I'm pregnant, and all she did was kiss a boy. So, in fact, having sexual urges is normal, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with you. It's beautiful. And if you do have sexual urges, Much of the problem lies in how you act on these urges, and while they're younger, children shouldn't be having sex because they need to be taught love first. That's their base, that's their foundation of their being. Treat people to teach your children to know what love is. It has to be the foundation. Then when they find and understand love, like a mother and a father, they show how people are there to protect you and to help you and to guide you and to give you support. And then when you find that, and then their body grows into self-exploration and how it works, and they're maturing, and then they learn their bodies, then they will be able to reach out, as opposed to some little girl that all she knows is sex. And when she get older, she's used and abused, had goodness knows how many children this child has had, how many abortions this child has had. So she's going to suffer from serious depression at a very young age because she wasn't instructed, or he wasn't instructed, to how things go, not to mention medical problems that arise from having too many partners and doing a lot of things when all you're thinking of sexual urges and how much money you got in the bank, as opposed to finding out the true meaning of love and the power of love, the power of truth. So you teach these, you show them the beliefs and also the circumstances that can arise and the negative things that can arise when doing having a relationship in such a way that hurts you, and that if you have to choose between hurting somebody or masturbating, you're better off masturbating. There's no reason for you to rape an individual, because you're constantly going to feel aroused. It's going to come around. Again, it's like eating. You're eating, you eat, you're full, you're good for a while, it comes back again. You have sexual urges, you release yourself, you're good for a while, it comes back again. There's also tricks that you can learn, and you will be learning that as you continue along. There are those who do and choose to be celibate for many different reasons, such as age, medical conditions, abuse, erroneous beliefs, and religious convictions. If you are a young, healthy person who urges with sexual urges that are very strong, but it's crucial for you to act in a way that urges may be released, as into masturbation as opposed to sleeping around, particularly for health reasons. But if you indeed decide to have sex and you don't really know this person, which is really not recommended at all, prophylactics, which should be taught, need to be considered first and foremost. Now, if you are the type of person that believes that masturbating and having sex before marriage is wrong, then you can choose to decide to reinforce your belief and suppress your urges by doing other things, as in exercising. But if you're having trouble doing so, you're better off masturbating and releasing these tensions and change your beliefs, so therefore you are not divided within yourself. And there are some people who says, well, don't do that, but yet they're hypocrites. They say, well, don't have sex, and then they're having sex with multiple children. Meanwhile, they're telling you that you're bad because you're having sex, so you're thinking there's something wrong with you. And this person is, playing free and fast loose in religion and with some of their parishioners and having all kinds of orgies. And regardless of how high they are in religious circles, they're still doing this and destroying children's lives over a lifetime in a trail of tears miles long. So you're better off masturbating and releasing these tensions and having a belief that allows you to masturbate once in a while if you're not with someone. Not everyone can accept celibacy, nor is everyone called to be celibate, but only to those who it has been given. So some people were born celibate, and some people have deliberately chosen to be celibate and not feel aroused, as in eunuchs cannot accept this, but only to those who has been given. For there are those who have been born eunuchs from their mother, and there are those who have been made eunuchs by man. So they deliberately, so, if you're a eunuch, you're never really releasing anything because you cut it off, or there isn't anything to release. And even then, some people still get aroused and do dry humping, even though there's nothing there, because then they have there's a name for that. It's like a ghost member. So you want to do something, but you cut it off and you don't have anything, so you just sort of trying to do the motion in hopes to feel the euphoria, which is actually good for you. But there's other ways of feeling euphoria, and it's also with merging with God, because God is a form of feeling euphoric with no sexual play. But again, there is your spiritual being and your physical being, and you were indeed made to constantly release some of the fluids every so often in order to keep your body in this balanced flow, just like eating. And there's people who fast, but they fast too much. Next thing you know, they're skin and bones, and a strong wind can blow them over, and they die from problems because of their not being balanced within themselves. So there are those who have been born eunuchs within their mothers, and those who have been made eunuchs by man, and those who have been made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of God, for the kingdom's sake. It depends on who you are and what you feel like you're being motivated to. But again, following it in such a way that you know this is what it is. So not everyone is called to be a eunuch. So people will tell you, oh, well, you shouldn't masturbate, or save yourself for marriage. Even if you never find a person to love, you should always be, celibate. But that's not the case. Again, knowing how your body works, it needs to be perfused. You got to perfuse your blood, perfuse all the parts of your body in order for it to work correctly. Somewhat like a car, except a little more in depth than that. So, if you believe that you are not called to be celibate or a eunuch, then most likely you were indeed not called to do so. In other words, if you're feeling aroused and often, and you're better off releasing it, if somebody who was really, really called to be a eunuch will be like, hey, man, I'm good. No matter what, look at someone naked and they'll be like, no, I'm good. That's good, child. Put your clothes on and move on out, because it ain't happening. Sex was made so we can multiply it. And sex, so it is not sex that is wrong. There's nothing wrong with sex. People try to make, sex is evil. Oh, no, sex is fantastic. People got to enjoy the pleasures of sex, especially with someone you love in such a way that, you're caring for them. But rather the perversion of sex that is wrong is where we pervert love. Therefore, the difference between sex and love, and sex is the physical act that can be used for lust or to unite two people in love. Sex is also, so there's a good way and a bad way to do sex. Sex is built in desire within you and can be enjoyed in a healthy, positive manner. Love is the total sum of all positives, and sex is the unification of two people who have love. Before having sex, you can choose not to let other people rush you into having sex prematurely, or let another person or persuade you into having sex without protection. Say, oh no, that ain't happening. Because that 2 minutes of pleasure will give you 10 years.